Hello. I'm not sure. It may not be it's working. It was really being glitchy. Hello, hello, hello. Can anyone hear us? Took us a little time to get Facebook to work. If you can see us, just put hashtag LIVE live below. Oh, I can see it's working. Well, I'm with a very special guest today. Her name is Chitra, and she's
Thank
just
you.
um, and it's a special day today as well for Chitra. So let me begin by introducing Chitra to all of you. So she is really compassionate soul. She gives, she loves, she serves. She's bubbly when you get to know her as well. She's got this love. See, you can see that lovely smile she's got on her face. She's really bubbly and she's a great hostess as well. Like, if you ever get the chance to meet Chitra, she'll always make you feel at ease. She'll make you feel relaxed and she always takes care of people. And today is a very special day because Chitra is being awarded Inner Child Matrix Practitioner. Yeah. And it's those who are new to it, it's a process where you can connect with the past version of yourselves and you can clear any past trauma, you can reset the past, and then you can kind of create your future that you want as well. So it's a beautiful process. It's very gentle, but potent and extremely powerful. So, Chitra, congratulations for reaching this stage. How are you feeling?
Thank you so much. And thank you for putting me at ease, especially when you know I get nervous in front of the camera. I'm feeling really happy. As I told you, my inner child is smiling and feeling really good.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, I'm happy. I'm really happy because this journey has been a very beautiful one. And I think I received benefits of doing ICM before I even started working as a professional, but I saw the benefits. Yeah.
That's great. And I love what you shared, Chitra, because that's so right. You know, your inner child is feeling really happy. And I think whenever I'm in your company, I think my inner child comes out to play because you've got a lovely, playful, fun, adventurous, creative side to you. So I think you let other people let their own inner children in a sort of playful way to come and relax and feel at ease. So I think that's a my happy inner child also comes out to play with your happy inner child. That's probably a better way of putting it. So, if you had to describe this work, because you work with so many different people, from those who've gone through sort of life crisis, from those who've gone through some really extreme traumatic circumstances, as well as those who are sort of starting off their life. They may be early on in their journey, not toddlers and children, but I mean young adults who are starting off their life. Maybe they've got their first job, or they're a college student or a university student, and they're kind of grappling with the sort of glue of, I'm feeling anxious, but I need to do really well with my marks. And so just share a little bit with us. How do you explain this process to somebody else?
So, so normally when they've gone through something, there's a very emotional, uh, you know, thing coming out. I mean, they're very emotional state. Then typically something from the past is being triggered. So even though we work on what it is in the present, but there is still a lot that comes from the past. And explain to them that we could go to that past incident and, uh, you know, so the present person, client, introduces himself or herself to the past client as a future person. And then they seek permission to tap on the past version of themselves. And through that process, you really release the memory or all that trauma associated, the emotion associated with it. We process that.
Beautifully shared. Thank you so much, Chitra. And Chitra, you briefly shared in terms of what you yourself had got from inner child work. And, do you have any examples that you can share with all of us of when you've used this work with other people without, of course, breaking confidentiality? What are some of the experiences either you or people have had?
Can I begin with myself?
Oh, I'd love that. Yeah.
So through the training, actually, if I remember very clearly, I was not at all keen to do ICM at that time in June 22, because my mother was visiting. And I
Mm,
had a very, you know, kind of a complex relationship with her. I loved her. We loved each other, but I think we operated as parent and child, not like adult. And even being a mother of two grown-up kids over 50, she still treated me like a 16-year-old. And
mm,
she'd say, don't do this and don't do that. And the obedient me would listen to her. And it was really irrational. And I had a lot of anxiety about her living alone. I always wanted to protect her, be with her. And it impacted my life because I didn't travel as much as I should have. I always went to her place. So I think I remember you saying, no, then you must do this.
mm.
And I said, she's going to really get upset because I bring her to visit me and I'm spending 4 or 5 hours. But I did it, and I think I cleared a lot. The dynamics, the complex dynamics in our relationship. And it was very interesting because I would panic when she would call. And at the drop of a hat, I would get onto the plane and go to Pune. And the 3, 4, after that, I wasn't in that state of panic. And she would call me and she would say, and I would try to fix her life for her earlier. And then I remember the change. She'd call and I'd listen to her. And after a while, she'd say, okay, I'm done talking. Bye. And my son noticed and he said, do you realize you're not as anxious as you used to be? So I'm really grateful to you for pushing me to do that, because she passed, 6 months after that. So those 6 months were the best actually with her.
Oh, I got goosebumps. That's so beautiful to know.
Yeah.
Wow. How wonderful.
ICM really helped me to uh, work on the relationship with my mom.
Oh, how lovely. And you've mentioned to me before that you really enjoy the ICM process. What about it you love kind of giving, or, what about, because you're trained as a counselor,
Yeah.
like psychotherapist as well. So what do you like about, this process?
So, as you said, the child has the creative, fun part, but the
Mm,
negative side also exists with the child. It's insecure, wanting attention, can easily feel abandoned, and is very emotional and confused. And
mm,
I think for the larger part of my adult life, I was in that state. So I wasn't really using the creative child in me. I was operating from the uh, traumatized child
mm,
in me. And in fact, a therapist had told me, who was working in transactional analysis, because you have the parent state, which is the should, which is very dominant and creates guilt inducing. And then there's the adult state, which is clear and rational. And then you have this child state. So she had suggested that I go through child. Yeah, I have to unlock my child and work on my inner child. But I never really, I got aware of it. I became aware of that. Oh, I'm operating from my child state, but I couldn't really process it till I did ICM in with you. And now I know for example, this morning I wore my clothes and they were tight because I put
mm,
on weight. And earlier I would have been really upset. And I
mm,
knew, I said, so what am I feeling? And I was feeling really terrible and, angry because I have been lax. But when that's when I go to my inner child and say, I know it's not now. I've carried this stigma of being overweight and fat, even when I was 30 kilos less. And
mm,
it's been in my mind. So I went back to that time, and I remember a friend of mine nudging me and saying, hey, you put on weight. And
mm,
I feeling very guilty and ashamed. So I was
mm.
able to tell myself, it's okay. That's how you felt, and it's okay. So I think that really helps even now. I mean, uh, I do have some anxiety issues as well, social anxiety being one of them. And so if I go now, I still tap. I said, even though you felt this way, it's okay. And or I feel this way, it's okay. I tap on either me or my past me to get me
That's such a
calm.
beautiful example, Chitra. And I'm so grateful with the courage with which you shared that, because I don't think you're alone here. And in fact, those watching in, if you could really relate to what Chitra said, I know I could, just go ahead and put hashtag me below, because, just like Chitra explained, we're not alone, but there are times that you can feel very lonely. And, Chitra, I know one of your kind of big sort of missions in life is to kind of spread awareness about good mental health. Can you tell us a bit more about that and the reason, or you just share your own philosophy actually? What is your philosophy in terms of, what you want to do now, and anything you want to do around making people aware?
Yeah, I'll just come to it. So you asked about clients also. So I just want to close that. So a lot of clients who come with trauma, they've
Mm,
witnessed something in their childhood, or they've been, for example, bullied in their childhood.
mm,
So this process has really helped them,
mm,
you know, process those memories. And it's
mm.
really been free. It's like freedom when you can
Yeah.
put the past in the past. And the
Mm,
event stays as it was, but it
mm,
doesn't control them
mm,
as much.
mm,
And coming back to what I wanted to, so I got into this field rather late in life.
mm,
And so I'm always seeing like what drives me now. Um, it's I think there is still a lot of hesitation to go to therapy, hesitation to uh, address mental health or issues. So wherever possible, however possible, that's the thing I want to work on, creating awareness. Sometimes it's just one-on-one dialogues, so you kind of shift their mind.
mm,
um, I do, I mean, I do get client referrals now, so work
mm,
with them.
mm, mm.
And
I'm not
I do
surprised
want to
because you're
go
very
back
good at
into
what
the,
you do. I'm
sorry,
not surprised you get referrals because you're very good at what you do.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. I do want to go back to the corporate
Mm,
sector where I
mm,
was,
mm,
and like engage with the women,
mm,
because I know I went through this ordeal. Like, you're working, in your mind, it's career and you're free, and then you get married and circumstances change. And then we were two kids, no income, because my husband started off on his own and I wasn't working, and the financial pressures and you want to go back, work full time, but you can't because you have kids and all that, balancing. I know I've been through that stress, so I would like to go and address that, and work probably with younger mothers and guide them to the
I think
best
you'd
of
be
my
amazing.
ability.
You'd be amazing at that, because you have so much empathy. You've been there as well, so you know what it's like. And, sometimes they need to work with someone who can understand their world and are not going to judge them for where their world is. I think that's such a beautiful, beautiful area to begin with. And, I'm just going to put it out there for everyone. One of Chitra's passions as well is to actually give talks in this area so that the whole stigma around mental health and mental health awareness can, you see, our Gen Z gets it, the young kids get it. They go home and they go, Mom, Dad, I'm having a mental health day today. They understand that mental health has the same weight as I've got a fever or a cold, so I can have a day off and take care of my mental health. But then the generation that I come from, Chitra, I don't know what it was like for you. Like, it was like, get on with it, get out of bed, go to work, zip the lip. Your emotions don't matter. Your mental health doesn't matter. It doesn't matter you're feeling depressed. You're only not going to work if you've got a fever, you're feeling sick, you're vomiting or having diarrhea. Other than that, get out, get to work, zip the lip, get on with it. That's the generation I came from in terms of the amount of weight mental. Like, you thought you were crazy If you went to see a therapist, oh, she's crazy in there, she's doolally in the head, she's
Or
not,
weak.
you're weak, yeah, she's not got a full set there. But actually, especially the kind of work we do as well, Chitra, things like EFT, which is for emotional regulation, or like putting the past in the past, or doing some of the intervention work. Because my sense is, Chitra, everyone's had trauma. I don't think there's a single human being in this world that hasn't had trauma. The difference is those who want to do something about it and those who don't want to do something about it. Now, in the first category, those who want to do something about it, honestly, if I hadn't been diagnosed with cancer, I would never have done the deep work. Did I still have trauma happen to me pre-cancer? Yes, I did. But I didn't have the awareness that, you know what, I need to do the work on that stuff. Nobody told me, I didn't know about it. But then I got the cancer and I thought, I want a solution that's non-medical. And so I started to read up, look up, and then I finally found myself actually in a child work. It's where I ended up. And it was one memory that I worked on that had happened to me when I was, very young. Well, now young, maybe then I felt I was old when I was 18. And then when I cleared that, it gave permission for the cancer to come out of my body because I had got the lesson and the learning from the reason that disease and illness had taken up residence in my life. And so if I had known it as a child, do you think I would have probably been more open? Yeah, probably. And so my sense is everyone, has either had a death or a grief or a loss or an accident. Everyone's got their story, or a parent that's been dysfunctional, or them as a parent, they've been dysfunctional. So, my thing is every human being must receive 6 sessions minimum.
Totally agree with that.
Like it should be mandatory, like it's before you're graduating, you got your 6 therapy, your EFT, your inner child. If you got this, like maybe 9, maybe they should do 9, 6 + 3, like just as a minimum kind of starter for people. Because one of the pieces of feedback I get, and I'm sure you've got the same, because you've had quite a few young ones who do really well in their exams. They can't speak, they've had difficulty with their exams, they come, they do a few sessions with you, and they're like, ma'am, I managed to do really well in my exams. Ma'am, I managed to have more confidence. Whereas they wouldn't have had that unless they would have, they just happen to have very forward-thinking parents, or they themselves were forward-thinking that they came forward to get your help. Can you imagine the thousands and thousands and thousands of young adults out there? In fact, one of our students, she works for 3 of the top institutions in Ahmedabad. And she is fully booked, 5, 6 sessions a day, every single day, 5 days a week, like fully booked, session on session on session on session. She doesn't get any breather, any break, because the students are just queuing up. Like, we need help, we're struck, we're stressed, we're anxious. So, if you figure out the solution, you let me know. But, my prayer is it gets into the education system. And
even as we are speaking, maybe it's not the corporate sector alone. I could try educational institutions. Yes.
Education
Because a
institutions.
lot of my clients have been students, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if the principals could understand by implementing, like if they were to invest with someone like you, implementing a program like this where every, maybe we can begin in 9th standard, 8th and 9th standard, for example, because they're going to go into their boards in 10th standard. So if they can be in a position in their 10th standard where they're a little bit more confident, well, they're going to ease through those boards. And then again in the 11th and then 12th, because the amount of pressure that they go through, but also what's staggering to me is the amount of suicide that takes place.
Yeah.
Not just 12th, but, also university going students, because the pressure of performing, the pressure of doing well, but then also all the entanglements they get involved with boyfriends, girlfriends, pregnancies. Like there's all kinds of entanglements that happen that become so shameful for them, that for them the only way forward is to, sadly pour kerosene on themselves. And like, if I know in my sister's university, she went to Baroda University in Gujarat. Every week there was another story of a young lady that burned herself in the toilets just because they couldn't sustain life anymore. That and for me, it should be compulsory. Like, I was horrified to learn at one of the top universities, the solution to mental health was to hire a lot of unqualified people, unqualified mothers. That's what they hired, and janitors to kind of self-soothe the students. And I was like, wow, gosh, you needed to have hired people like you, trained therapists, trained in the kind of work that they need. And almost like and if universities are struggling with fees, add it to the fees of the student. I mean, honestly, to pay for 6 9 sessions of therapy is nothing compared to the fees the parent is going to pay for that student to put them through a year's and then 2 and then 3 years worth of college. And the benefit that parent is going to get is going to be incredible. I mean, imagine your own children if you knew that they're going to get some kind of support and a little nominal fee that you just add to the sort of bigger fee that has to be paid. And your kid's going to work with someone independent to you. Their confidence is going to increase, their esteem is going to increase, and they're going to be a much better position to find a job. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yes, definitely. I think
Yeah.
people need safe spaces to go and speak, and
Lovely.
people and train people who can listen, and not in a sympathetic way, but in an
Yeah.
empowering way.
Exactly, absolutely, exactly. Train people who have an awareness, but who've also done the work on themselves. Like,
Yeah,
it's okay to have mums that are not trained be part of a support circle. I think this is brilliant, and create support circles where young kids, students can come, they can chit chat, they've got a support, great. But that's not therapy. That's not
yeah,
helping
yeah,
someone kind of deplane what's
yeah,
going on underneath. That's not helping someone with anxiety or depression or performance anxiety or social pressures, because many times those conversations get centered around advice giving. Those conversations get centered around do's and don'ts and what they should be doing, which means they're not able to build their own thinking faculties as well.
true. Yeah.
So I'm excited, Chitra. I'm excited for where you're at. I'm excited for what the world has to hold. I think we have to just put the message out there to Mr. Modi and the Education Minister in India to say, look, get in touch with Chitra, find out her plans. Let's figure this out, how you can start destigmatizing mental health and make people proud, feel good. Oh, like I said, ticking the box. It's like the same as I bought a Lamborghini. I bought a new pair of shoes. Like, you know what? That's what I did. I said, like, it's equal to a trek or an adventure. It's like, yeah, I went on a wonderful inner journey adventure in my life. I know I feel happier, Chitra. You feel happier. The people
Definitely.
we've worked in our lives feel happier. So I feel it should be central to everyone's life.
Thank you. Thank you for this wonderful training.
I got on my high horse. Do you have any advice or wisdom you want to share with all of us?
So, the PAC, the parent, adult, child, I think the adult needs to be in charge, but also let the free spirited, creative, happy, delightful child also come up and express itself.
Oh,
And
love that.
I think, now I know I have the tools to allow myself to do that and help others as well.
That's the best piece of advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So anyone here who feels as passionately as me and Chitra do, and you want to be part of this movement with Chitra to kind of mental health awareness, or you would like Chitra to come in and maybe give some talks either in your corporation or your kind of university institution, just type below mental. And then we will get you in touch with Chitra, because I have promised Chitra that when she reaches this stage, that's a commitment I gave her, I think 3 years ago, that I would partner with her to make sure she gets her message out. So if anyone's watching, please can you reach out right below so we can get, and if you're an NGO, like even a charity as well, you've got, you know, people who've been through certain kinds of trauma, you know, even talks for them to make them aware about what's going on and what's happening, would really appreciate it. So from my heart and from Chitra's heart to all your hearts, take care. Take care. God bless.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.